rescue teams are making is really incredible. And as a matter of fact, in some areas, I believe it's below ground level in areas where it was almost 4 or 5 stories tall. On another note, I had been asked often by the family members about whether we are finding personal items in the rubble and how those personal items are being addressed. I made it a point last night rather, to spend a good amount of time with the professionals who are accepting, identifying, labeling, categorizing, and storing all of the family's valuables, personal items, keepsakes, and other family treasures that have been found at the collapse site. They are using GPS technology to place the items found near the family's units so that we have a better idea to whom those items may belong. Those items are being guarded 24 hours a day. Everything you can imagine has been recovered and processed. This process will continue until every bit of debris has gone through. We owe a duty to the families, and I'm proud of the Dade County team within the police department who is undertaking this very, very important work. It means a lot to the families, and I'm glad it's being done like it's being done. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And our Creole translator, Lionel Letterbourg.
Mesdames, Messieurs, bonjour. Jeudi encore, nous retournons. Ça fait le 16e jour depuis nous retourner sur place. Et après des asnas, nous continuons à travailler 7 jours sur 7, 24 heures sur 24. Et gagner 13 millions de tonnes de débris qui déjà sortis sur ce site-là. Et depuis la dernière fois nous parlions, il y a 14 cas de décès que nous arrivons joindre qui additionnel. Ça portait le nombre de décès à 78, 47 déjà identifiés, 200 personnes que nous déjà connaissons qui l'a toujours, et monde qui nous pouvons retrouver environ 62. L'équipe de recherche nous continue à travailler pour assurer que 62, ça effectivement, c'est des gens qui étaient dans le building là dans le moment où nous tombons. Nous continuons à demander pour tout le monde continuer à prier pour l'équipe noire et puis prier pour la famille qui a fait face à un moment difficile ça. Et pour Howard County, il y a un médecin légiste avec toute l'équipe qui est venue sur place, qui a travaillé avec l'équipe noire qui fait que nous renforçons l'équipe là, nous avons plus de monde qui travaille et nous sommes capables de travailler plus vite. Et nous avons toute l'équipe nous là qui toujours continue à supporter Mounio, au logement, au assistance financière, au conseil sur le plan spirituel et à tous les niveaux, de sorte que nous sommes capables de traverser ces moments difficiles ça. Pour le moment, nous avons dit que tout effort nous concentré sur aider les familles, parce que famille c'est déjà point central effort que nous avons mis en œuvre pour le moment. Nous avons fait tout ça capable pour nous capables d'apporter à la fois support et encouragement et soulagement à eux-mêmes. Merci en plus.
Thank you, Mr. Laribo. And we're going to start the questions and answers. And as usual, customary, we're going to go ahead and raise our hand. Wait, till you're called upon. And we have Miami-Dade Fire Chief here, Alan Kaminsky, as well, and Miami-Dade Police Department Director, Freddie Ramirez. We'll start with the gentleman here in the corner.
We've heard and you've talked about the importance of emotional support for people working the pile. I know the clergy's been there, chaplain's been there. Do they also pick each other up and describe how they're working with each other to support each other as they work?
Yes, our mental health is critical. You know, obviously the stress that we're encountering, the hours, the efforts, you know, that all the firefighters, first responders are putting in, you know, it's essential. And part of that is communicating, talking. And yes, one of the most uplifting is communicating amongst each other and just, you know, discussing situations, things they're encountering. You know, it's important for us to be open and talk, not to keep things in. You know, as well as having all our different staff and personnel and professionals as well to assist. But definitely the interaction amongst each other is critical as well.
We're going to go here and then follow it up with you, sir.
Chief Kaminsky, this question is also for you. I have hearing reports that a frontline worker was injured from debris or machinery. Can you confirm that over the past 24 hours?
Yes, over the past 24 hours, we did have 2 individuals, you know, that were injured. One was cardiac in nature and was transported to the hospital and is in stable condition. The other individual was one of the task force members, which was received a laceration. Did require some sutures, but is stable and doing as well, all right as well.
Thank you, sir.
Chief, this is is also for you. I know that there's been a lot of talk about folks being found in bed, but I'm wondering if you might be able to describe where the latest people were found, and also if there's any indication that there were people perhaps at stairwells or trying to get to an elevator to sort of, show what the last moments might have been for these people's lives.
Well, we're definitely located victims all throughout the rubble pile. We do focus because of the time frame, what occurred in regards to the dispatch, how we arrived, individuals possibly exiting through stairwells. So that's always our primary focus. So obviously in this type of collapse, it's been extremely difficult just locating that stairwell, that area where we would hopefully find survivors at that time, and now where we're continuing searching in a recovery method, as well as bedrooms, due to that time frame when we're doing our search. That's kind of the process. So when we feel we locate an area in that particular apartment or whichever, based on the schematics, based on the floor plan, that's how we would, do our search in regards to trying to locate the bedroom for the greatest,
So the
possible
last
location.
14 people, can you elaborate a little bit more about where you might have found it?
I couldn't be specific where they were located. Obviously we're communicating with the family in different aspects as well. But those are just key aspects that we look for when we're going throughout our search.
Final follow-up, around what floor level do you think these folks were found?
Well, as I mentioned, the rubble pile is still at all different levels. So I know we're in certain areas as low as floor 2, and we're still in certain areas at floor 5. So somewhere in that particular area.
Thank you, sir.
And now, Telemundo.
Yes, Erica, in Spanish, if you could explain the process that you're in now, because we have seen heavy machinery, and backhoes, excavadoras, and some people worry about what that means for any possible remains. If you could explain how that, just basically, obviously for leisure, how that works.
Bueno, claro que sí, en este momento estamos utilizando esta maquinaria pesada y también maquinaria liviana para surtir estos escombros que quedan. Lo que estamos usando, la maquinaria pesada, con mucha precisión sabemos en qué áreas estamos buscando y en qué áreas debemos utilizar maquinaria pesada. Los escombros que están en este momento los han dividido en varias partes y la maquinaria pesada se está utilizando especialmente en esas partes donde sabemos que tal vez ya no hay víctimas.
This is for the police director. I know the fire chief spoke about injuries. We had heard also a Miami-Dade officer potentially hit by machinery. Could you speak to that? And also, Mayor, if you could clarify, we have some family members asking us, how will we be notified? What is the process? Just trying to prepare, if you could speak to that after you address it.
Absolutely, yes. Unfortunately, one of our officers got his foot run over on one of the traffic posts. He was transported to the hospital. I spoke to him yesterday, right after it happened. I spoke to him last night, and his wife. They're in good spirits. He's just frustrated that he can't be here to contribute, but we have all the support behind him, and I asked the community as well to pray for him and his family. He's going to be okay, but everybody here is working very hard.
And that was machinery?
No, it was a vehicle. It was a truck.
Can you answer about how families are notified?
Oh, absolutely. In terms of your second question, we have a very strong systematic approach in which we notify the families. Our detectives, our homicide detectives, notify the families in person. That's why I call them the messengers. The moment we get an ID, they rush right away because those families have been waiting for quite some time, and we take very seriously bringing them closure. And we tell them, also with a victim advocate that we have as well. We talk about the wellness. We have victim advocates that are there and support services that help the family comfort, plus all the work that's been put in by the fire department and the family police. I mean, this has been a long process of coping and coming together, and it's just not that one moment. It's the whole process, which has been amazing. Sí, lo hacemos muy delicado y con honor. Lo que pasa con los detectives cogen la información, van directo a la familia y se lo dice. Y ahí también tenemos psicólogos y clinicians que ayudan con ese proceso, pero todo ese trabajo ya empezó cuando esto pasó. Eso porque tenemos reuniones con la familia. Estamos preparando para estos momentos. Estamos procesando esto con una familia. Ya tenemos conexión con esta familia y Y tú sabes, es un proceso muy importante, muy delicado, y la alcaldesa se puso mucho esfuerzo en teniendo conexión con la familia, y lo estamos haciendo juntos y estamos sufriendo juntos.
¿Cómo están manejando la lista de los potencialmente desaparecidos?
¿Cómo es?
Los que no saben, potencialmente desaparecidos.
Sí, tenemos como 55 documentados con casos que no sabemos dónde están. Entonces hay otro número, es casi 20, que no sabemos si estaban ahí, si son números incorrectos o que piensan que estaban ahí pero no estaban, o han fallecido en el pasado. Esos números todavía estamos trabajando, pero no podemos dar un número total porque la familia no queremos estar seguros. Y también tenemos el proceso de identificar a los que han fallecido también. Cuando empezamos a identificarlo, esos números empiezan a cambiar. Es muy delicado y siempre hacemos todo pensando en la familia.
That's the question you would say today, followed by you.
This one is for Mayor Quintana. I understand that this has been a process that's evolving by the minute. The question is it was announced, I believe, to the press on day 9 that you were thinking about encoding the building, and then it was encoded on day 11. The question would be, when did the conversations about possibly encoding the building begin, and between that day and when it was actually done, what happened? I guess what I'm getting at is some people are saying, maybe if the buildings were encoded earlier, they could have gotten to those areas sooner. So just what are the reasons that they weren't able to encode the building?
I think from the very beginning, there was concern about the stability of that front tower. So the engineers were investigating and considering every option, and at that time we did not know of the rapid implosion method, and so it was considered that it would take, you heard it, weeks to accomplish. So we continued our search while we also continued exploring the demolition. When we did not learn of this rapid demolition method until right after I announced here at a press event that it was going to take weeks. So the engineers had been meeting right after that with the company that was capable of doing this, and when they were satisfied that this would be safe and a good alternative, we proceeded with all due haste to get it done.
So the initial conversations about encoding the building, when did those begin? On what day?
You know, like I say, it was always part of the equation. As to exactly when it was decided that very night, and then the work commenced immediately. Again, as a possibility that would need to be conducted, but something that we thought at the time, with the advice of our engineers, would take a while before it could be accomplished.
Last question right here.
I wanted to ask the mayor also. Mayor, you mentioned that the medical examiner was on site. I hate to ask this, but at the number of bodies that are recovered, can you talk about whether added resources needed or extra resources coming through the team to make sure that there's plenty of resources?
Well, first let me be clear, there's always been staff from the medical examiner's office on site. But what we did this morning is we brought the deputy medical examiner, a physician, to the site to continue the efforts on site. And again, we do not have a resource problem in our medical examiner's office, but we had the opportunity to ask Broward to assist us so we could give some relief to our staff, and that started today. It was requested last night and they arrived today.
Thank you, folks. Next briefing is going to be at 5:30. Let's see, it's actually at 5:30.
Congrats on the
Well, me too. 16 days.
Chief, you don't seem very excited about this.
I'm not a lot excited.
You don't seem very excited.
There's a lot of them.
Well, let's go tell them.
You're not gonna remember the song.
Just kind of splash something on. Then just put it on with like refresh. At least 2 waters. Just before this, I would suspend it.